Hello and welcome to the House of Wellness, the show for people who like their wellness without the woo-woo. But with me is the ultimate woo boy. It's Crawford.
Hey, thanks, Mel. It's Friday night, the weekend's here, let's get on with the show. When you go and order a coffee, what do they write when you say Thanasi?
I go by Ben, so it's pretty simple.
I just wanted to bring him out to see whether he was smarter than you, Crawford.
Sorry? You a good student?
Can I speak to you outside about that?
I am a virile man with a beautiful head of hair.
Spell hemorrhoid. Okay.
When you're exercising, you release things like brain-derived neurotrophic factor in the brain, and that's basically like a brain fertiliser.
You know, you get your cousin Vinny in to do a lap dance dressed as a cop. But anyway, so I've heard.
And there was that thing.
What?
Can you do it? Tennis superstar Thanasi Kokkinakis is in the house. Nice to see you.
Welcome. Thanasi Kokkinakis. It's a big name. I don't know how to spell it, but it's a big name. So when you go and order a coffee, I'd tell them my name's Shane and they still write Sean or Cian or whatever. What do they write when you say Thanasi?
Well, I changed my name. So at school, if I had a relief teacher and they paused, I knew it was me, so I just put my hand up. But when I'm at Booze Juice, order a coffee, anything like that, I go by Ben. So it's pretty simple.
Ben?
But
where did Ben come from?
it's just, I was like, what's the easiest name I could think of that I can't mess up? But sometimes people recognise me and they're like, you're not Ben. But
brother.
I run with it anyway, exactly. It's a doppelganger.
Is that going to be your supermodel name? Because I know you don't mind dabbling in a little bit of the old photography, modelling. Shane loves it as well.
Oh, look at that. Look at that. Swing!
Yeah, I did my ankle after that.
What was that for?
That was for politics.
Oh,
so
there you go. Look at
any
that.
of you need some suits, let me know. However, Doc, I actually have been told you don't mind a little modelling pic, a little shirtless selfie.
Have you seen the doc?
I've heard about it.
Every now and then he takes a selfie.
If you can pull it off, do it.
Yeah, mate, exactly.
You've had an eventful year, haven't you?
Yeah, it's been a big start and then a quick downfall. So, but I'm here now and I'm happy. So, hello, everyone. Happy to be here.
We're glad you're here. But tell us how the injury's going, because you had quite a major surgery a couple of months ago.
Yeah, it's pretty full on. It's something I've been battling with for sort of best part of 5 or 6 years, and I had a bad pec rupture. Essentially, it looked like I had a tennis ball or a golf ball in my chest.
Did you know something was really wrong when that happened?
Yeah, it was actually 2019 Aussie Open. I won the first set pretty much serving underarm, and I was like, something doesn't feel right. I went for a toilet break. One side of my chest was here, the other side was like, felt like 5 centimetres ahead of the other side. I was like, something's not right here. I blame my physios, blame my doctors. They told me I was fine to play. I definitely wasn't.
Ouch.
And so did you continue playing over the next few years with that injury, or you totally shut it down and then got an operation?
I got advised against surgery, so I waited sort of 5 or 6 months and tried to rehab it naturally and kept playing with it for sort of the last 3-4 years, but I couldn't play more than 1 or 2 matches in a week before it would swell up and give me a lot of grief, and everyone was adamant no surgery. But this year I felt like my tennis was at a good spot, but my arm wasn't, and couldn't progress through tournaments. I got to play a lot of matches in a week, so I thought I'd give it a crack and bite the bullet.
So it's obviously a major operation to fix it. Like, what do they do? Does it reattach to what bits? Okay. Should I not have asked that?
That's actually a technical term.
Yes.
Right.
Well, the worst thing I did was look up how the surgery is done on YouTube, which never to do. I don't actually know how my arm's still connected to my body looking at it, but yeah, you essentially have to... My muscle was that torn that I couldn't reattach it naturally back to my shoulder, so my pec wasn't working, so I had to cut the scar tissue out, attach my muscle to a Achilles allograft, it's called, and attach the Achilles to my shoulder. So I look like I got a big sharp bite
my gosh.
on my arm.
So hang on, we've got some vision of you. Is this going... Oh, that's...
Yeah, that's not normal.
That's before you had it.
We'll see when you get out, right?
Oh, so it's going in.
Everyone.
Oh, God.
Who was that? Was that your
was my dad.
Oh, that was
Yeah. Wow.
Well, like good, but horrendous.
Horrendous.
Do you remember what was going on there?
I remember that little part, but I was out of my mind. I don't know what they... I don't know what drugs they put in me, but they were strong.
That actually
needed to knock
reminds
you
me
out.
of another celebrity who went through a little bit of surgery. Taylor Swift, I'm not sure if you've seen this, but she was very funny.
She found a snack. It wasn't the one I wanted. I tried to get this one.
I'm gonna get the other one for you. Okay.
This one, but what do we do with this now?
I'll eat it. I'll eat it. It's mine.
But it doesn't have a head.
Honey, it's fine. I don't need a head.
Okay.
Okay, so lucky we didn't have any embarrassing videos of you. But you were okay coming out. No one filmed you.
Yeah, they filmed me, but I think I looked a little better than that. I'm not sure.
So what about the rehab? That's all gone well?
Yeah, the first 2 weeks I was pretty much dead on the couch. Endone just cooked me. But now it's better. I started running for the first time yesterday, so got function in my arm out of a sling, which was a big plus. And yeah, every day, every week is a lot better. So now I'm on the up. And
the audience were hoping you could take your top off and just show them, you know, the surgery. No, I'm joking.
Is it a big scar?
I'm untrained right now.
Is it actually a big scar, though?
It is. It's massive.
A good one? OK.
Yeah.
In all honesty, downtime, like if you've been on the couch for a while and you have... Because you lead a very busy life.
Yeah.
A lot of travelling, obviously playing all the time. What have you been doing? Is that...
It's a lot
Must
of
be
time
hard
wasting.
to adjust.
It's a lot of time wasting, but I'm a master procrastinator, so it's kind of gone through quicker. It was nice having a little bit of a break. The tour's so full on, travelling sort of 10, 11 months of the year, so it was nice to take a little bit of a break. Now I'm kind of itching to get going. I went to Ibiza last year. We got some DJ decks when I came back, so I thought I'd become an international DJ. It hasn't quite worked out for me.
Still time.
There's still time, exactly. Luckily, I don't need to perform too physically for that, so I got time.
We saw a photo of you with your niece, is it? Ooh. Hanging out with her. Look at that's the cutest shot ever.
It was her first birthday, so I found her a matching car with mine and...
So you actually bought her a big car, yeah?
Yeah, she got a big one. She gets scared every time it turns on, though, but we'll get there.
When are we going to see you on the tour again?
It's been a long recovery. Fingers crossed for AO next year. Aussie Open next year is the goal. That would be my last tournament. Thank you.
Great.
Oh, it's good, because you obviously won a few years ago, which was magnificent. And I'll tell you what, you got the crowd up and about. They loved it.
Always entertaining. Hey, we're going to play a little game, if that's OK.
Please.
It's called Well, Well, Well. So they're rapid-fire questions, all right? Quick answers, totally honest. Number one, your favourite takeaway food order?
Zeus.
Biggest...
Greek, sorry.
Biggest hairstyle fail?
Got a couple, shaved head or gone blonde.
Oh!
Yeah.
Biggest career highlight?
Tournament-wise, Aussie Open and Adelaide International for me. Biggest win, Federer.
Nice.
Yeah, that's a good one.
What's harder, returning a 140-mile serve or predicting what Nick Kyrgios was going to say?
It's definitely Nick. It's not even... He is a firecracker ready to explode. So when I play with him, I don't know what's going to happen. Yes. I'm the peacemaker, sometimes the psychologist, but it's always good fun. Yeah, you never know what's going to come out.
It seems to work.
Describe your skincare routine in 3 words.
Non-existent water.
And what is the worst nickname you've ever been given?
Little cock.
Little cock. No,
I said worst.
No, that's...
The best would be a flip.
Yeah, but like...
I mean, the weird thing here is that's what I call Shane.
That's it. That's true, but that is your nickname, isn't it? They call you...
Yeah, just the last part, hopefully.
Oh, just...
It's late night TV, go for it.
K-O-K-K, so...
Yeah. Yeah, of course.
Of course.
There you go. That's what they used to call me back in school. Big. Sorry, Mel.
Oh, we're learning so much about you and learning a lot about you. It's been great.
Hey, thank you so much for coming in. Yeah. We wish you all the very best. We love your work.
Thank you.
You're a superstar. We can't wait to see you back on the circuit dominating. Please put your heads together.
Thank you.
Thanasi Kokkinakis.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Happy recovering.
Thank you.
Coming up, inside the world of men's sheds and hens nights. Stick around.
Got a question from George, and George asks this. G'day, Sam. I have pulled my hamstring while playing soccer with the boys. How do I stay fit while going through an injury? Which is a great question. You wouldn't be sprinting or doing anything that stretches or loads the hamstring too much, but you can still keep fit on a bike rather than perhaps running or on a treadmill. You can still do upper body work from a strength perspective or a boxing perspective. Focus on what you can do, not what you can't. keep yourself moving, do your rehab diligently, and you'll be back on track in no time.
Dr. Andrew Rochford, Dr. Renee Lim.
Two of the finest doctors, just not in the country, but in the whole world.
Oh, in the whole world.
I'm not sure who you're talking about. We're here as well.
No, that's in Mr. Rochford's contract.
Yeah.
That's right, yeah, he has to say that contractually.
Okay, sorry.
Does this ever happen at a dinner party where someone sits down and goes, oh, I'm so glad you're a doctor because I actually need to ask you a question?
Yeah, and it's usually about something that's usually between here and here. Yeah.
OK, well, mine...
Not sure what dinner parties you're going to.
No. I
Sorry,
apologise, everyone, I've got a cold.
You sound different.
Do I know? Thank you. A bit sexy? No.
It's that time of the year. It's, you know, we've got to start thinking about whether, you know, it's influenza, you know, that dreaded
vaccine.
COVID word. RSV is another big one.
Which most people don't know about.
No, exactly.
I've got no idea what you're talking about.
So RSV,
RSV?
yeah, so respiratory syncytial virus. So it's another one of the sort of all the viruses, the airborne respiratory viruses. I think a lot of people understand that kids get it a lot, but older adults as well. And you know, we're seeing it more and more in the medical world that we need to care about the older adults when it comes to RSV because it can have a fairly significant impact on their health.
Glad I asked.
Yes.
Not that we think you have RSV.
Oh, no, or that I'm an older adult.
No, not at all.
But I did start Googling some symptoms, which I know is
Everyone
really
does.
dumb. Isn't it? You can't help yourself,
can't.
right? You
Yeah.
can't help yourself.
Yeah.
But that brings me to AI, because I want
yes.
to ask you about it. Is that something that we do to find out what's wrong with us?
I use AI.
Yeah, so do I.
Wait, so
Yeah.
what is AI? What does it stand for?
It stands for artificial intelligence.
Right. And so, like, all I know is that it's coming for our jobs and we need to know what the enemy...
Okay. I'm sorry,
about to
Shane.
do.
I
Yeah.
think, like,
True.
if you're a super successful sports person, also turned host, who's a awesome woo boy, I don't think AI is really going to be able to take your job anytime in a hurry.
Thanks for
I
noticing.
think you're safe.
That's
I
very
think you're
nice.
safe.
Right?
That's the nicest thing.
Okay. He's irreplaceable.
Everyone's replaceable, don't you worry about that.
I did once host a conference where they made an avatar of me and I introduced myself. Freaky, but very, very cool. But I feel like AI, I don't know, if we could get it to do stuff that we needed it to do, like our taxes and maybe fold the washing, getting the robots to do that, I'd be OK. Do you think we're just panicking because we feel like it is potentially taking jobs?
I mean, kids are using it a lot in schools.
I think they've got detection devices these days.
Oh,
the
really?
Teachers. Yeah, believe it or not. I only know this because one of my sons, he did an essay, so he's gone from obviously an E- to an A+, and he got himself in a little bit of trouble. Oh. But deep down, I didn't go mad at him. I just said, I love your initiative.
Yeah.
It's very creative, well done. Just don't do it again.
Well, don't do using resources that are...
He now doesn't go to school. He's not allowed to back at that school. But I could probably go to university now and I'd use AI and I could probably become a doctor. Is that right?
100%.
Yeah. Or it could be completely off.
Dr. Google. I mean, they've been doing that for years, just slightly more sophisticated.
But it's smarter now because you can ask questions and it answers them as opposed to, like, with Dr. Google, let's be honest, you'd get, like, a bit of an answer and then there's random websites of things that you're kind of like, is this even real?
And there'd be some cat videos or something and you get sidetracked.
When I Google, I put in a subject, the next thing I'm like, how did I get here? Is that just me or is that just what I'm
Googling?
No.
But can you use it? Is it useful in medical diagnosis?
There's absolutely a role for AI in medicine, 100%. Yeah. And really, what AI is really good at is reading scans, is doing that sort of triaging work, looking for very fine details in high volumes. The emotional stuff, really, really bad at. It will not replace the physical interaction or the human part of it because we need to have that. But I think as a tool for informing yourself and empowering yourself when it comes to your own, choices in healthcare, I encourage people to do it, but it has to be in conjunction with a trained professional.
Yeah. We're looking at giving it a go.
Yeah, let's give it a go.
Yeah, I think this is very, very fun. So the first thing we put to it is... I like the shopping list idea because let's be honest, that's actually going to help us in day-to-day life, isn't it? If I open my fridge, what do I do with the stuff in there?
Oh, yeah, the mishmash
Yes.
menu.
You mean prepare a meal?
Yes.
OK.
Like cooking.
So this could help you. So we put into AI, in the fridge I have some eggs, a capsicum, I said I had 2 grapes, butter, a couple of mushrooms and some milk.
Or I'd avoid the mushrooms.
Oh, I know.
I have no idea.
No.
AI came back with, you can make a simple veggie scramble and have grapes on the side for a complete quick meal.
What?
That's an idea. And then it gave me, look, little recipe.
It told you all of that?
It told me all of that. Then I asked, what excuse can I give my boss for being late to work?
Oh, yes.
That's a good question. What is the answer?
All right.
I was eating scrambled eggs with grapes.
Public transport delay or traffic jam. Yep, we've used that one. Unexpected personal issues. Health-related. I could use that right now. Family-related responsibility.
That's always a good one.
Yeah.
So I know AI can be extremely helpful, but my phone, like I've got my phone and I don't even type things into it. It can actually read my mind because the stuff that pops up on my phone, I'm like, where on earth has this come from? So somehow it is working out what I'm thinking. I'm seeing a lot. I don't think I can say.
A lot of ads for erectile dysfunction?
Yeah. Hair transplants.
Excuse me, I'm going to try and talk to my phone. I am a virile man with a beautiful head of hair. That's not
It's not saying anything back to you. Isn't that a worry?
It's listening, don't worry.
Back with more after this. Surprising. Hey, here to talk us about brain training and longevity is neuroscientist Dr. Leda Landowski. Hi, Leda. You are an expert on brain health, so give it to us straight. Why is it so important to keep our brains healthy?
Well, the brain controls everything we're doing, whether we're thinking about it or not. It's controlling me saying these words, you understanding them. It's controlling hunger. Everything is all the brain, right? And I think the tricky thing with the brain is it's just like a muscle. So when you exercise a muscle or you stop exercising muscles, they shrink. And just like if you stop using your brain, it may shrink and it makes you much more vulnerable to neurodegenerative diseases like dementias. And I think the tricky thing is that, you know, we have turnover in our bodies. For example, our cells in our skin turn over every 28 days. Our bone turns over about 10% per year. And the neurons in our brain, they actually stay with us for the rest of our lives. So if we damage them, then we're very, you know, we're carrying that damage for the rest of our lives.
So that's like a really big wake-up call, right? To be like, I have this one set of brain cells. So everybody wants the easy fix. Like, you know, it's like, what's the one tip? So if I'm really lazy and I can't be bothered doing anything else, what's the one thing I should do? Do you have one of those for the brain?
Well, look, it's actually exercise. And I know you're probably thinking, oh, OK, you know, doctors often say do your exercise. But when you're exercising, we actually have the formation of brand new neurons in the brain. So the part of the brain that's involved in learning and memory gets bigger, so it improves your memory, it improves your mental flexibility. When you're exercising, you release things like brain-derived neurotrophic factor in the brain, and that's basically like a brain fertiliser, OK? And your bones even release a hormone called osteocalcin, which also protects your brain. So all of these things come together to really have this incredible effect on how our brain works. Now, another one of the big pillars of health, and our brain health specifically, is sleep.
Oh, that one we like.
Yeah. So, you know, when you're sleeping, it's not just, you know, improving our immune system and our metabolism, it's actually physically changing our brain as well. So it's removing the waste that builds up during the course of the day. So it's basically like brainwashing happens when we're sleeping.
But good brainwashing.
Good brainwashing. Good brainwashing.
Good brainwashing.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
And all of the memories and all the things that we've learnt throughout the course of the day, they get turned into long-term memories when we sleep.
Is there anything that's good for your brain that people are like, oh my God, no, that's so not true though?
Well, just doing what we're doing now. Conversation, human connection. You know, we are wired to be connected to one another and to talk to one another.
And that's good for your brain.
It's so good for our brain. You know, studies have shown that you have a 30% increased risk of dying if you're socially isolated and you're lonely. And that's because socialising and hanging out with people that you like does an amazing thing to the brain. So you're, for example, releasing things like oxytocin, which is known as the love hormone, which, yes, it's really involved in that feeling of connection with people, but also it has this effect where it reduces the level of our stress hormones. So it really buffers us from the effects of stress. And also, when you're isolated and you're not hanging out with people, you get this increase in type of neuropeptide called tachykinin in the brain. The more tachykinin you have, the more anxiety you have, the more depression you have, you know, the more aggression you have. And that's why hanging out with people can make you feel less depressed and less anxious.
Some people just don't like people.
That's true.
But anyway, what's bad to be doing for your brain?
Yeah, look, there are a few different things that we really need to be thinking about. So, for example, high blood pressure is really bad for the brain because it basically makes our blood vessels in our brain more vulnerable to bursting open. Smoking also does the same thing, and it also makes your blood more sticky, so it's more likely to form a blood clot and therefore block a blood vessel and cause a stroke. Things like having high blood sugar results in this thing called the formation of advanced glycation end products. But just stay with me for a second there.
How do you spell that?
So, you know when you're cooking a steak and you sear the steak and it goes brown?
Yes.
That's the formation of advanced glycation end products. It makes those brain cells less effective at doing their job.
Yes. But I tell you what I do want to ask is about forgetfulness or memory loss. You know how there's patches in our life where after you have a baby, we could talk about baby brain, or when you reach a certain age, you know, menopause brain, that brain fog. Is that a real thing? And how do you know the difference between just having a foggy memory and actually something more serious?
Yeah, look,
asking for a friend.
A little bit is normal. So, you know, if you've not been sleeping, then it's normal to have a bit of forgetfulness. And when we talk about baby brain, that's one of the big things that causes baby brain. But I don't really like the term baby brain because it makes it sound like women have this negative, you know, they're less able to function after having a child. So I think, you know, at the end of the day, if you've got sleep issues or if you're stressed, it's normal to have these memory issues. But if there's something else that's going on, you know, if you've got a virus or a cold and your immune system is ramped up, it's also normal to have a bit of brain fog.
I'm finding you fascinating. And even though I'm not really sure what we're talking about, but I'm finding you very fascinating.
We can ask AI later, don't worry.
No, talking about memories and brain, but dementia.
Yeah, look, I'm really glad you've asked because studies have shown that we can prevent or delay 45% of dementia if we deal with 14 different risk factors. So we'll just pop them up on the screen now for you to look at. But, you know, these are things that I've mentioned. Exercising, dealing with your high blood pressure, getting your diabetes in check, you know, dealing with your high cholesterol levels. All of these things, you know, having a rich variety in your life, doing all of these things that help you be engaged with the world around you. Ultimately, you can't change the past, but we absolutely can change our risk of these neurodegenerative diseases and cognitive decline if we deal with these risk factors.
And things like my gorgeous mother-in-law who's 90 years young, and I'm sorry, Nonna, if I've just told everyone your age, but she's really good. She does cryptic crosswords all the time and, you know, all sorts of different memory games to keep her brain active. You know, they're things that we should be doing to keep our brains active.
Yeah, actually, let's do that now. There's a memory game that I've got actually set up for you.
Okay. So I can't even remember my kids' names at times, so...
Can I get another doctor in the room?
Yes.
Is that all right?
Dr.
Rochford, come out. Okay.
Oh, what have we got here?
Well, he might be the smartest one in the group.
I just wanted to bring him out to see whether he was smarter than you, Crawford.
So under here, I have 10 different objects, which I'm going to get you to remember. I'll give you about 30 seconds to remember them.
Okay.
Now, some things that we can do to enhance our memory if we're just about to challenge ourselves and try to learn something is to increase our alertness. So exercise would be one of those things, or, you know, putting our arm in cold water would also do the same thing. There are other things like the memory palace that you can use. So what that means is imagine a place that you know really well, like your house, and picture the things that you need to remember in that situation. So let's say I'm at home and I'm trying to remember my shopping list. I'm going to mentally picture putting the loaf of bread on the coat hook. It's better if you make it a bit weird. And then I'm imagining like duct taping a banana to the bathroom door. So use those cues to try and, you know, link the location.
30 seconds.
I walk into rooms and don't even remember why. How am I going to remember a banana duct taped to the door?
So how long do we have?
30 seconds.
30 seconds. And you at home can play along?
Yeah, don't write them down at home either. So
not yet.
So try and use these tools that I've recommended.
Just because we're doctors, we'll remember. Oh my gosh.
Right, there we go.
30 seconds.
Teddy bear while I'm staring at. Is it now? Have you started?
Yes.
Yes. Teddy bear while I'm staring at Shane's photo.
I always
Gherkins. I had a drink of water.
I've got to remember this. How do I get
Vegemite, which was something
sunny. And a candle.
Like it was random.
I don't know.
What is that?
Oh no, this is a wrench. Is this a wrench?
Does it matter that it's not a real one? No, okay, sorry, distracted.
Can I eat this?
Candle,
okay.
Candle light with sunglasses. I've got a spanner. Are those marshmallows?
Oh, I'm going to forget all of this. And tell me they're not the pickles that we had to try before. Okay, sheet back on. Leela, we will get you back a little bit later on in the show. and we'll work it out then. So
Sounds great.
All series, we're giving one lucky viewer and a friend the chance to go cruising through the Norwegian fjords. Business class flights. Yes. It's thanks to TripADeal, worth $40K, and all you need to do is keep watching for a code word that will appear on the screen.
Would you like to hear an AI joke about Norway?
Of course, I'd love to.
Why did the moose move to Norway? Why? Because he heard it was unfjord-gettable. I think we're going to go to a break. Yeah?
Please. Hey, the last few years have seen an increased focus on men's mental health, which is great because often blokes are not always the most forthcoming in discussing their health.
Yes, it's always hard, even with like patients when they come to you wanting help, that you still have to kind of drag it out of them. Yeah. What do you guys like at talking about your mental health and how you're feeling?
Not great, no.
How
need
are
to be
you
better. Oh, are we doing a counselling session right now?
Well, Shane.
Gee, I don't. No, we need to be better, 100%. Yeah. But I do have a friend who talks a lot and gives you way too much information. And then I have a lot of other friends who don't give you a great deal. Yeah. But you need to communicate, talk. And I think it's a great way to just get it off your chest, get it out there. And especially if you're doing it with someone that you trust, I think that's crucial. And someone who's not going to judge you too much.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, if you feel like you've got a few flaws and whatever else.
Well, then they shouldn't be your friend.
OK, I've got to get rid of it.
No, but, you know, don't you think? I feel like women do it a lot. We just talk about everything and no judgment.
Look at the doc. The doc's not saying much, is he?
I know. So tell us how you're feeling.
I haven't had a chance to get a word in.
Your turn.
Look, for me, I think it's hugely important, particularly for everyone, but for men in particular. And look, I mean, I do my best to identify when my friends aren't great. And I hope I get the same in return. And I think the thing for blokes, men, is you get a really small circle and you know the guy that if you call him at 3 a.m. in the morning, you know, he'll pull his pants on and will go, who are we going up? Like, that's what you need as a man. And I think finding those characters that you can pick the phone up and have a chat to at any point, that's hugely important. And you don't need to be vulnerable to the world, but you do need to be vulnerable to certain people. And I think we should encourage each other to do that more often.
Yeah.
When it comes to men's welfare, there's few places better than a men's shed, and I was lucky enough to check it out in my own backyard in northern New South Wales. There are heaps of groups where men can come together, share experiences and support each other, and the men's shed is a perfect example of this, and today I'm visiting one in Ballina. Hope they got a barbecue, because I've got a shrimp to put on the barbie.
Men's sheds probably started about in 1993 down around Galway, and now we've got 1,300 men's sheds in Australia, 50,000 members in those sheds. They meet new people, they make new friends. Once they become friends, they become mates. Of course, then they can sort of talk about their problems if they have problems. There's no job more important than a chat. It's just a safe and happy place to be.
So this is pretty cool, isn't it? It's a great place to come.
It's essential, isn't it? Because the women have got lots of stuff they can do.
Yep.
But the men, when they retire, they just die.
Right. That's pretty grim.
Get ready for it.
I became a widower and I was cranky, and somebody said, you need to go to the men's shed. And I said, oh, what do you want to go to the men's shed for? You know, I've been here for about 7 or 8 years now and I haven't left, and I come here nearly every day.
Yep.
A lot of people come here and they've been lost and they don't know where to go next. And, yeah, they've got a purpose in life. You know, they've got a reason for getting out of bed in the morning.
What are we building here?
We're building clocks.
Oh, that's good, isn't it?
See that one?
Yes.
That's Australia.
It's not a digital clock.
We've got engineers, we've got doctors, we've got carpenters. You name it, we got it here.
So you're a good student?
Can I speak to you outside about that?
I hadn't done wood turning before.
Right.
He's a doctor, a surgeon.
Oh, really?
He's a surgeon in this one. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
OK.
I'm just glad he never operated on me.
Learning a new trade.
He's not that bad, is he?
A sense of belonging. It's a group that's inclusive, that's polite and respectful. The men's shed is actually as much about women's health as men's health.
Yes.
Because I reckon that the men's sheds have saved more marriages than any counselling service.
The blokes that here are absolutely wonderful mob guys, and you wouldn't wish for a better group.
Wow. What a phenomenal group.
Yeah,
Lovely,
nice.
lovely men.
Some go every day.
Yeah.
know, and they don't spend all day. They go there in the mornings. And, yeah, they just work away or do their thing, whatever it is.
Hang out together.
Hang out, garden, or go and make some
Yep.
things.
And I feel like, too, there's a lot of focus, particularly on women around once you've had children and postnatal depression. Yeah. And now there seems to be more conversation around men as well, after they've had kids and needing some support, and to have these conversations that us chicks have been doing for years.
Yeah, I think it's the things that potentially come naturally, but new mothers coming together and having a chat about it. You know, new fathers, it's a change of life for all of us, and I think taking that opportunity to make sure that you are also talking when you're feeling a little bit out of sorts or you don't necessarily know what's going on, and not, again, thinking that being vulnerable doesn't mean that you're not masculine. It's actually part of it, and so I think, yeah, we should be encouraging each other to do it more and more.
I think vulnerability should just be normal, right?
Yeah.
Not like all the time, but normal. And I will point out, a men's shed is something AI can definitely never, ever get to. So
That's very true. Yes.
I think it's definitely a good example of where humans still always are going to be the most important.
And I do a moving men's shed too, where I live. So we go and play footy on a Monday. A few of the oldies, we run around and we have a great time, and then everyone finishes with a beer. So that's more of a moving men's shed.
Yep.
And maybe I could do a story on
I'd
that one
love
day
that.
and show you a little bit. But it's just a bit of fun, brings everyone together, connect, and everyone goes off into their big wide world.
If you need me on the side with like pom-poms and, you know, Shane T-shirt,
They'd
I'm
like
there.
that, actually.
Okay.
So,
All right.
don't worry, they're
Coming
all-
up, our two doctors are going head-to-head and we meet some very zen hens. If you want more House of Wellness, check out Wellness Australia right across your socials for behind the scenes and lots more.
Now, we have two doctors in the house, so we thought it was only polite that we put you to the test. A battle. Are you ready for it?
Why does it...
Are you ready for...
Yes.
Doctor!
Grab your buzzers. Now test Dr. Renee.
Okay, right.
Great. Dr. Rochford.
Very good.
Great.
Hang on, they're both the same.
Oh,
Gosh.
I can make a sound. What do you reckon? Pew, pew, pew. That's good. That works.
What could go wrong?
What could go wrong?
Am I doing the first question?
Yep, you're doing the first question.
All right.
Good luck.
Okay.
Good luck, man.
What does an... I can't even say that.
Gosh.
Can you do the
Okay.
first question?
Okay, what does electroencephalogram test? Dotchy.
It's an EEG. Brainwaves. Electrical activity in the brain.
Well done. Okay, I'll do the next
I would
one because
like to
I
be
can
nice.
read that.
That's
Okay. What was George Clooney's character name in ER?
Jeffrey.
David.
No, it's think of a shovel.
Doug.
Ditch.
Doug.
Doug. Doug is correct. Doug Ross. Very much.
Wait, sorry.
Guys, watch ER.
Doug.
Doug.
I loved ER.
Yep.
Question number 3. What
Old.
is my blood type? Doc. Rochford.
Golden syrup.
Dr.
Oh.
Positive.
Because you're a really caring, giving kind of person, so you would have an O blood. Right?
You know your blood
Yeah.
Was that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes!
All right.
Thank you, guys.
Blood told you about people. Okay, I like this one. Spell hemorrhoid. Okay.
HAEMARRHOIDS.
Are you sure about the start?
There's a P there somewhere, surely.
Are you sure about the
No.
start?
I think there's a silent K.
There's no A in there.
Oh, no, but there is an Old Latin version.
Oh, well, we're not old Latins.
Right, well, that's different.
This question involves a special guest. Should I go get him?
Here, I'll go.
That's right. No, you can ask
If
it
it's about a bone, then
I'll be back.
No, it's, Bones and I've got a...
Oh, here he comes. Look at that.
Thanks, Troy.
I knew it.
That is
We've got a weird relationship, Bones,
Bones
and I.
Jovi. I am not a doctor, but this is a male skeleton.
All right. What
Okay.
bone is this?
Oh. There's two
That was
there.
Dr. Rochi.
I had to see where his finger was.
That is the tibia.
Excellent work.
That's correct.
All right, you can graduate.
Scores are tied at the moment. OK, the final question. The pitch is coming. What rash is this? Oh.
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 That's a rash that, Shane, you shouldn't be sharing with the world.
Shingles.
So, congratulations. That means Renee wins somehow.
No great surprise.
We do have a first prize, which is unbelievable.
Oh, wow.
You get my book. So there you go.
Oh, my God.
Congratulations.
Oh.
If you're very lucky, I might sign it. And runner-up, you get Andrew Rochford's book.
Congratulations.
In all good bookstores and in all good bargain bins, my book.
That was
Dr. Rochford's
fantastic.
#1 seller.
Super fun.
Yes.
It was a wild ride. Hey, speaking of wild, I want to talk about hens nights.
Oh, no.
Yeah, what do you think the key to a great hens or bucks night is?
Someone who's been to hens nights, I would say it's all about the bonding and enjoying each other's company.
Right. Tequila shots. Like, it gets pretty loose. Penis straws. Like, what are you laughing
You've
at?
both got very different opinions and
But we're
thoughts
both
of a
right,
hens
yep.
night. I always figured they were like drinking, dancing, you know, you get your cousin Vinny in to do a lap dance dressed as a cop. But anyway, so I've heard.
Why are you getting your cousin in? To do it, like...
Because no one else will
Was
dress
it
as a
your
cop
hens
and
night?
get his gear off. Anyway.
You want your cousin to get his gear off? What?
Anyway. It's really went down a path I was
Hey, you know, back in the day, Rochie's was wild.
Yes.
Remember how wild it was? Remember this?
On my bucks party,
hang on, where are we going now?
So my groomsman hijacked me, took me to a parlour and waxed me from top.
that excuse.
I was slippery as a seal.
Now,
it's a visual we haven't been able to get rid of for weeks. We checked in with our fabulous audience. What did you do at your hens or bucks? Country retreat. It's very civilised.
Very normal.
Drawing lesson of buff naked waiters.
Ooh.
It's very
Is that what you guys saw, Roch?
Yeah.
A Hugh
G'day, thought I recognised you.
a Hugh Hefner-style yacht and belly dancing.
They can get very wild, but then again, they're changing.
I mean, I think they've changed a lot, right, hens nights. So, like, you know, the idea of adding a bit of zen to the hen, getting rid of the strippers, no offence, Mel, like your cousin could definitely come to my hens party. The whole point of a hens night is to celebrate the bride, right? Like, have a look at this.
So welcome everybody for Caroline's Zen Hen. I'm so excited to have you all here today. I own Zen Life Retreats and Zen Hen events, and I bring people away for day events or weekends of mindfulness and connection. People are happy to leave the traditional hen behind. I think times have changed. Brides are getting married a little bit older. People are really understanding what they value in life. The activities you can choose from are sip and paint, letters to the bride, connections and gratitude circles, beer yoga. People enjoy stepping away from the tackier side of hens and enjoy stepping into a more organic, grounded atmosphere. Zen Hen allows you to wake up the next day with a feeling of fullness and joy instead of a feeling of regret.
Not everybody drinks anymore, and there's women of all ages going to hens parties. Beer yoga today was something new. Most of us hadn't tried it before.
Open up the stretch, lift your beer up towards the sky. Beautiful. We're going to take a breath in. Option to sip your beer.
Sip and Paint today was a real treat. Getting to have an artist support us to create something new together and have a little bit of a laugh was really enjoyable.
Oh, wow!
With the Zen Hen, I felt like we had a lot of time to sit together, to get to know each other, to make those meaningful connections with each other, and also to make sure the bride felt like she was at the centre of everything.
Very mature.
Yeah, I feel like they were obviously having fun.
Yes.
Yeah, but if you look really closely, I saw cousin Vinny.
That's for later.
He was there. Yes. So what do we think about that? That's nice that you can have a nice, quiet
I think it's good
party.
that there's options available.
Yeah.
Coming up, it's time for Friday night takeaway, and I reckon we've got to go back head-to-head in the ultimate memory test. Go to the fridge. It is time for the best part of the week, Friday night takeaway. Love this. Guys, what did we learn this week?
I learned that you've got a cousin called Vinny, and he sounds like fun.
I learnt that we're not very good at quizzes. I learnt that Renee won. But I've got a
Not by
feeling that if we
much.
did a review,
Yeah.
maybe the doctor snuck across the
No.
Okay. Well, this is my new
competitive,
best
wasn't
friend.
it?
He's my pet buzzer. But in particular, I've learnt that being social and having friends is very important to your brain health. So cheers to that.
Cheers.
Oh, cheers to that.
Cheers.
I've learnt that
Cheers.
a glass of wine
Cheers,
on a
Bones.
Friday night is just so nice with you guys.
Okay, it's time to find out how good our memories are.
Oh.
So we need to bring Dr. Leela back. Here she is. Thank goodness she was there.
How are you?
All right. Remember at home too, if you're going to play along, this is your chance. Get your paper ready. Get your pen ready.
So I'm going to give you 30 seconds to write down as many things that you can remember.
Okay.
Can't write that fast.
He's already starting.
Are we going?
Oh, and go. Yes.
Go. Okay.
There was a toy.
Okay.
There was a what do you call it?
The photo, and then
there
I
was
have the song.
Oh, you're throwing me.
I can't read this with a candle. Oh, sorry, am I saying it out loud? Then everyone can hear me. Oh my gosh, that was really dumb.
How many things were there?
Was there a vacuum? No, there wasn't a vacuum.
This is why we. Yeah. Okay. And there was that thing.
What? There we go.
Oh my God.
I'm pretty sure. Was there a dog and a cat and a piano? No, there was.
Okay.
Time for the big reveal.
Blame doctor's handwriting.
Oh, I forgot.
Okay.
All right.
Mellows.
You can go through them. We'll tick them off. as we
Okay,
go.
so we have number 1, a teddy bear.
Yes, tick.
A very handsome Crawford.
Yep.
Some pickles.
Yep.
A
Pickles.
glass. Vegemite.
Oh no.
A candle. Sunnies.
Sonny.
A wrench.
A wrench,
Is that what we
yes.
call it? Marshmallows. And a drill.
Okay.
So tick how many ones you've got correct and who,
All right.
who is the winner.
Just checking though, is it okay if I've called them different things to what you said?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
So what do we have? We've got a 2, 10.
Two. Who got a two?
We've got diagrams.
What is that?
That's
1,
That's gonna be
2,
worth
3,
more.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Oh my gosh.
Well, we meant to draw them.
very visual.
What? No, that's
okay.
right. No, because you said you call them different things. So that to me is a vacuum. That is a vacuum.
Yes,
This is a dog.
Yes.
I think we have an equal firsts.
Equal first.
Well,
doctor.
cheers, the two doctors.
Equal
Cheers.
first.
You get to keep all these prizes.
I'll take the
Congratulations.
sunnies.
It was fabulous. Thank you. Hope you played along at home. Hope you beat us. Well done, audience. Thank you very much. It has been a lot of fun.